The whole show will be wrapped in dick and bacon.
Yeah. Okay. I could.
Bacon. It's gonna be a bacon wrapped dick.
This is the Greg Cote Show with Greg Cote.
Pardon it.
Here's your host, Greg Cote.
Let's start the podcast right there, Dad. Why are you eating? Because you are such a stickler. Anytime Yeti and I have any kind of snack during this podcast, you can't fathom it. But right now, you're annoyingly smacking your lips.
I know. In defense of me, we weren't recording when I was eating this. Have you ever loved a food?
Oh my God!
And then forgotten about it and rediscovered that food after years? Because I just did.
I've done it with a few kid snacks that Graceland stumbled upon. Like I had a fruit by the foot the other day for the first time in like 2 decades. But yes, go on. What food did you rediscover?
You know what I just rediscovered after years? Here's a couple of them right here. Wasabi peas. These things are wasabi is like Japanese horseradish, and these are actual peas, but they're made really crunchy. And so it's actually a healthy snack. But it's kicks your ass because it's wasabi, which is spicy, and I'm just addicted to these things. Like I'm gonna have, let me just how good they are. Oh yeah.
All right, please
now it sound like
stop. Yeah, stop doing that. Now you just muted yourself. I just lost you. Like I don't.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Like,
but wasabi peas. Try them.
Did you actually did you just orgasm there, and that's why you had to mute yourself briefly?
Yes. Yeah. Now we go, oh, baby. Okay.
That's what you sound like?
Yeah. By the way, I got to get this over with. Okay. Connor McDavid kicked my ass.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Okay. He scored the winning goal. Canada beat the U.S. 3-2 in the final of the Four Nations face-off. Okay. So I have to give him credit. Okay. He scored the winning goal. He's raising the trophy. But I'm also going to double down on Connor McDavid being overrated because the trophy he just raised is a made-up little trophy. Okay,
no,
it's not the Stanley Cup.
There's no doubt that watching the Canadian guys take their turn lifting the trophy was much less excitement than you see when they do with the Stanley Cup. So
yeah.
But at the end of the day, they cared about winning that game. Like maybe they don't care about the trophy, but they cared about winning that game. And McDavid was great in the tournament. So like you got to just take the L right now. Who you should be turning your attention to is Austin Badthews. I mean, that guy let McDavid McDavid was his man in the middle of that ice. The reason McDavid was standing alone was because Matthews had drifted away, and Matthews had like 3 opportunities to score, 4 or 5 minutes previous to the Canadian goal. So that's what we should be turning our attention to. And if you want to, you can save it for when they play in the playoffs if it's like Panthers, Maple Leafs, but Austin Badthews is was the one I think that we need to turn our attention to.
That Badthews, almost as bad a nickname as McOverrated. By the way, Badthews.
That's why it would be funny if like you become the guy that's like, I'm just gonna say things about popular Canadian, like just become like it would just be funny to troll Canada by doing that again, and then they would get mad, and it'd be like, this Greg Cote, he said McOverrated, and now he's like become the bad pun guy from according to Canada.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Austin Matthews is supposed to be the best U.S. player, and he completely let us down. The Kachucks did their part. Austin Matthews did not. But I'm going to put a bow on this by saying Connor McDavid will always be overrated to me until he raises a Stanley Cup, because this is a tournament. I'm not going to belittle the tournament because I wrote about it. It was a big deal. And had the U.S. won, it would have been really nice. But winning this tournament is not a big deal at all. So Connor McDavid,
you're so full of it. If the U.S. would have won that in historic fashion and like Matthew Tkachuk scored, you would have written how it was the biggest thing in hockey since like the 80 Olympics or something.
You're right.
Like,
yeah,
you were so full of shit.
Yeah. Well, I'm not so full of shit, but I do I do write what's convenient for me.
You would have been like, this is the moment. U.S. has caught hockey, has caught up to hockey. I mean, has caught up to Canada.
For
The
sure.
U.S. has done it. This is a huge moment in sports. It's this. It's like, you would have. Oh, you're gross.
Betting back to McOverrated. Do it in the Stanley Cup final. Okay, raise the Stanley Cup, and then I will anoint you not overrated anymore. By the way to miss half of the game, the championship game, by being at a Nikki Glaser concert.
Yeah, I got home right at the start of the third period.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
All right. So
she kept it tight. She kept it tight. We were out of there by like just before 10.
Now, I want you to tell me just a minute or two about Nikki Glaser, because I'm the kind of guy who had never heard of her until she kicked ass at the Tom Brady roast. Okay, that was my personal introduction to Nikki Glaser. But
that's crazy. You had never watched any other roast? She was like a known roaster.
No, I'm not a roaster. I haven't
You never watched like the Justin
Burrell. What?
You never watched the Justin Bieber one or the Bob? Trying to think of other ones she was on, but
never.
Yeah, I mean, I've known about Nikki Glaser for a while, not to be that guy, but
right.
I went to see her when she was doing the Miami Improv, like a smaller place,
right?
Many years ago. That was actually, if you remember, it was one of my first stories on the Lebitard show, where I got recognized at the Nikki Glaser show, because at these like improv places, you get sat like right next to people.
Right.
It was my first time getting recognized, like next to someone I was like literally sitting next to. So not only did I get recognized, but I had to sit next to the person the entire time. And what I made fun of is that, in talking to this guy, he was on a first date.
Oh God.
So it's so weird to like be on a first date. You sit down and you're like, hey, I know this person next to me. Like, I feel like I would just not even tell the person that I'm on a date with that, like some crappy celebrity,
right?
Some
it's
podcast. But instead, he talked to me more than his date.
Like, I can imagine. So describe Nikki Glaser's style of humor. Like, what kind of comedian is she?
I mean, I knew that she was raunchy, but she was like her entire set is about like, all the different ways of sex and,
really?
Masturbation and porn and, having sex with your partner and, single people out having sex and old people having sex and, making fun of pedophiles and making fun of, people that molest. There was nothing off limits, and it all seemed to like hover around sex, which I'm not offended by, but it was one of those things that like 45 minutes in, I was just like, she is staying here. Like, she is not like, and in other news, it was just like, nope, I'm going to talk about this one thing. And then because she knows a lot of people are like you that discovered her only because of the roast.
Right.
Then like the last like 10 minutes, she basically like had a roast for South Florida. Okay. You would have enjoyed this. I think she is progressive. So she was having her, like, she was giving it to Florida. Like, she was all the things that Florida, has done recently and, trended in directions politically. Like she definitely had jokes for
good. Yeah.
And there was some pushback because, as you know, we are Florida and we've kind of switched in terms of, there are a lot of people supporting the side Greg Cote's not supporting.
So people groaned when she made fun of Ron DeSantis or what?
She made a few Elon Musk jokes where like, some guy had to shout out like, I love you, Elon. Like some like shout of support for Elon.
Oh my God. Ugh. I would have heckled the heckler. Like, I would have gotten into like a big thing about, go f yourself with Elon Musk.
That's what you would have done.
Yeah.
Go f yourself with Elon Musk.
That's right. Because I'd have been high on wasabi peas. Okay, before we leave,
was that even on air? It was the wasabi pea stuff. Okay, sorry. For a second there, I thought that was just you telling us before the show, and I'm like, why are you bringing up the wasabi?
Yeah, no, that's a famous Greg Cote callback. But getting back to hockey for just a quick second, I did a TV spot. No, look at me, Louie here. I did a TV spot earlier today that's going to be on NBC6, the local.
I love how relevant Ari Odzer is keeping you with the local news. Like, I feel like if it wasn't for Ari Odzer, you would not have done a news hit in this town in like 25 years.
Well, that's not true, but
it was like before Ari Odzer, it was Jim Barry. And ever since, this Mike Cunha, he doesn't come after Greg Cote as much as Jim Barry did.
I know. I hold that against him secretly. I got a private grudge against Mike Cunha. But you know what?
Will Mansell, we're talking to you too. I mean, you're never on Channel 10 either.
That's true. That's a very good point.
We should start calling out.
Are,
we should start calling out these news organizations by name.
We should.
Who's running Fox these days?
Yeah, I don't know. Running Fox sounds like an animal.
Wow, that's just a terrible joke.
So before we started recording, Ari Ozer and I on NBC6, the best local station, by the way, he says to me, has anybody ever told you look like blank? And guess who he said? Because I had never heard this before.
Oh, wow. I was hoping he'd say Jeffrey Loria.
No. He said, anybody ever tell you look like Bill Murray?
Wow, I don't think that's a compliment. That's definitely older Bill Murray.
Well, Jeffrey Loria is not a compliment. Bulletin.
Right, I know that, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. How about somebody says, did anybody ever tell you look like Tom Cruise? Which did happen like 40 years ago, as you know. Okay, let's start the podcast, shall we?
We have to talk about our 5-year anniversary because this is very exciting.
Oh, that's coming up.
That's next week.
It is?
Next week will be, as close as we can get to the 5th anniversary of this show.
Might be the week after. It's going to be sometime in the next couple of weeks. It might be like mid-March more than early March. Let's leave that a little bit open-ended. But it's going to be very soon. We're going to have our 5th anniversary.
I mean, Dad, I'm pretty sure we had a meeting about this, and Yeti was like, it's not this episode, it's the following one.
I know, but I can override that because nobody remembers exactly what the 5th anniversary is. I just remember it being in March.
The first episode aired March 2nd, which will be a week from Sunday.
It's literally the most look-upable thing.
All right, the disembodied voice of Yeti Blanc appears out of the mist.
It's a podcast. I mean, I know we are on YouTube. You check us out on YouTube, but like most people are only hearing all of us.
Yeah, check us out on YouTube to see me holding up 2 wasabi peas, which is really thrilling. By the way, here's something else for the YouTubers only. Are you ready? Christopher, you're going to have to describe what I'm about to do.
It looks like you're looking down at your balls. Go ahead.
I know, I am, but you ready for this? This is exciting.
You have an on-air sign.
How great is that?
That's fun.
I've been doing this all week in the garage.
What, lifting it up? Like, what do you mean, doing what?
Yeah, lifting it up and turning it on and off, blinking it in the garage and on air sign. That's also, I'm getting giddy now. It must be the wasabi peas. This is also a gift from our friend in Arizona, Nina. Remember I told you she sent me that gift box. It included the on-air sign.
Nice.
Okay.
So for the 5th year anniversary, we are going to unveil, 5 years, we've done a lot of interviews. The top 10 guests in Greg Cote Show history.
No, the top 100.
We're going to do 100?
We're going to do the top 100 guests.
That's absurd.
Okay. And I think Yeti did all the math. I think we've had roughly 187 total guests, but some of them are on more than once. So the total number of individual guests is 138 or something like that. And we're going to give you the top 100, which means if you didn't even make the top 100, meaning you're in the bottom 38, man, I feel sorry for you. I mean, it's nothing personal.
I am just like baffled by this.
Why?
Like top 100.
Yes, but we're going to do it quick, though. We're not going to dwell. Like I'm going to, the episode is going to be all 100, but it's going to be quick. Like number 100, blankety blink. Number 99, da-da-da-B. We'll intersperse
do you realize how sad, like, the 90 to 100 is going to be?
Yeah, I sort of do. I don't know. I mean, will Dan Le Batard make the top 90?
Like, number 98, Miguel Rojas, MLB shortstop.
Yeah. See, that you're right. We had him on back when he was with the Marlins.
Number 96, Hal Habib, longtime writer for the Palm Beach Post.
You think Hal Habib will beat Miguel Rojas? See, that would be. Although Hal,
number 95, fake Pitbull.
There you go. Hal was the guy who confirmed my 50-yard field goal.
That's what I mean. Like, that's a memorable interview. Like,
it was a memorable.
This isn't just about fame.
Right.
Like, you best believe that Snuggler is going to make the top 20.
Oh, you know it. And I mean, I can only imagine how high Gary the Bag Rosenfeld's going to be. I mean, that guy has become a Greg Cote Show legend. But anyway, we're teasing it, but we're going to do Yeti and I and Christopher are going to vote for this. It's going to be like a big award show.
What do you mean I'm going to vote for this? I mean, I'm not doing shit. I'll just
No,
put it together.
I'm sending you and Yeti a list of every single guest we've had, A to Z, and we're all voting on a point system, and we're going to come up with a legit top 100 that we're going to present next week or whenever we do the 5th anniversary sometime in March.
Number 93, Clark Spencer.
Will we have to explain who all the guests are, or
How many?
will they
Wait,
be known by name?
did you say this already? How many guests have we had total? Like, have we even had 100 guests?
Yeah, we've had like 138 or something like that.
Oh, these sad 38 people. I'm sorry, Jeremy Taché.
You know what? We've had some big name guests that may struggle.
I don't think Jeremy Taché is going to crack the top 100.
You know, the only thing that helps him is being a member of the Hee Haw 3.
Yeah,
You know,
it's a who's who we have here. I mean, I'm not putting him above Hal Habib.
I mean, you know, we'll Meet the Press host Chuck Todd make the top 100.
Right.
You know, I mean, there's just a lot of moving parts here.
Morgan from Australia, Uncle Dick. I just don't know what.
No, it's going to be just a crazy list. It's going to be controversial. Listeners are going to gasp when they see that so-and-so was ahead of so-and-so. But it's going to be fun, and we're going to have fun doing it, and we're going to bring it to you because we're proud of our 5th anniversary. It seems like just yesterday that Christopher and I were in my bedroom closet surrounded by moldy clothes recording our first episode, and now here we are. It's exciting. So look forward to that.
I'm sorry, Mike Tannenbaum. You're just not making this list.
Yeah, he's on it, man. I think we've had him on twice.
Nah, but he's not making the top 100. I'll tell you that much.
Okay, well, we'll see. You know, you're one of 3 votes. So before we move on, I need to talk about Venmo, okay? Which is a Levitard Show sponsor, okay? And I have no intention of criticizing Venmo because I think it's great. I'm glad I downloaded the app. I think if you want to pay somebody or send somebody some money, it's a quick, safe way to do it. Love Venmo, but I'm new to it, right? Like, I had no idea what it was. I just thought it was a super easy way to pay a bill or send somebody money if you owed them.
Is this like our new sponsor or something?
No, it isn't. Because I'm about to get into my velvet gloved complaints. People I don't know are asking me for money.
Oh, I had no idea. Dad, you're a celebrity. People look you up. Like,
no, but it's just I didn't know that was a part of Venmo. I also didn't know it was a part of Venmo where people are going, "Be my friend," or "Can you friend me?" or something. What is it?
It's all about Facebook? Connection. It's a wallet. It's like if let's say, you and Tom Jordan every Friday, you guys meet for a couple beers, you can become friends on Venmo, and now you don't have to split bills. You could just take turns paying, and you know how much you sent the person.
Okay,
it's like a modern way of paying people.
Okay, I got something, and I've had dozens of these, so I only want to mention a couple. A guy named Riley, whose last name I won't say.
You're just encouraging, you're going to get dozens more of these now.
No, because I'm about to say why I shouldn't. So a guy named Riley sends me a notification saying, requesting that I sent him $3,500. And then the next request is, "Will you be my friend?" or whatever the phraseology is. A lot of those, but
is he saying why? Does he at least have a spiel?
No, no, he doesn't say why. And it's ridiculous. What am I, a GoFundMe page all of a sudden? An ATM machine? I'm not giving anybody I don't know money.
Well, it's more the request, anytime, besides people just messing with you, the reason it's if I go out with you and I cover our bill and you owe me $20, I can, my way of reminding you of documenting is I request $20. So you wake up the next morning and you see, okay, Chris requested 20. Right. That's right. We went there.
Yeah.
You just accept it. You don't have to do anything. It makes the process, as opposed to you having to go in, find me, write $20. It speeds up that process. And
I would totally friend people that I know or that I'm in.
And that's how 99.999% are just doing this with their actual friends. You're on a show, so people search Greg Cote and they're trolling you. You're not living a normal experience on Venmo right now.
Okay, that's fine. Now, here's what scares me though. And it's only 2 so far, but I'm worried it's going to be more. I've gotten 2 people wanting to send me money.
Oh my God.
Okay. I've got one guy who says he wants to give me $5 and said in the note, "Thanks for making my life worth living." A guy named Ryan, and this I gave him credit for. This is cute. A guy named Ryan wants to send me $14.40. $14.40. That's cute.
Yeah.
I shouldn't accept money.
No,
right?
no.
Okay, good.
I mean, you gave them what they wanted. Like that guy, the 1440 thing is funny. It's way
funny.
fun. It's
Okay,
way
but-
funnier than. I mean, the other thing is sweet. $5 for literally being a great thing in my life. Those are both adorable. Probably top tier listeners for us.
And I appreciate it. And I just want to tell everybody
Like,
out there.
what are you doing right now? Are you just kind of like this seems like a humble brag of like I'm so famous that people are trying to send me money, like kind of thing.
No, it's a mind blower to me because I'm all new to this. I had no idea that people could either send me money or ask me for
What
money.
did
It's
you
all new to me.
think Venmo was? That's
I thought-
literally what the app is. It's sending and requesting money from people.
Okay, but I thought it was it was me.
You
who
thought it was
decided.
you thought it was just podcasts that do it?
I thought it was me deciding that I want to pay my whatever bill, my AT&T bill. I want to send them money, or
I mean,
I
it
owe
is
you
right.
money. I want to send you money.
Right. I mean, that would be person to person. You just said I didn't know that I could send people money. Like that is literally all the app is.
Okay, I'm just saying I'm genuinely
You
surprised.
should just say
that-
you're old. Like I'm old.
Okay, just shut up for a minute. Let me finish the sentence. I just want to say that I'm genuinely surprised that any app, including Venmo, allows strangers to ask me for money or allows strangers to send me money. So I want to say two things. Number one, I love all of you. I appreciate you being supporters, listeners, fans, whatever. Please don't ask me for money, and please don't send me money. I appreciate it. Your $5, I really appreciate it. The $14.40 made me smile out loud. SOL. Please don't send me money.
I'll take money.
Okay, Christopher will take money. Venmo him money.
I'm not going to say my Venmo, but it might be my name followed by my area code.
How was my how was how was my Venmo known? Was it said on the Levitard show? I don't even know my Venmo name.
Wow.
Venmo. What? What is my? Don't say it. But
I
literally,
don't know. I mean,
even-
it must be pretty standard for if people found it pretty quick.
Okay. All right. Let's move on.
This is-
Because I got agitated there. I genuinely yelled at you, and that brings me to something. This was an
there was-
unintended segue.
I mean,
Okay, we got a nice message from a listener.
oh my God,
I
this is
wanna
going to be another victory lap for Greg. I mean, this is just an obnoxious 20 minutes.
Okay, well, this is when I read this to you, and you'll interrupt me 5 times because that's what you do, and then you'll make fun of me for reading it, even though I'm telling you in advance that I'm reading it. But maybe you'll feel a little bit bad that when I read this. Okay, this is verbatim. I'm not going to say the guy's name who sent it because I think it's very personal. He said, "Not sure how to write this, and I'm sure it's weird, but I wanted to let you know how much I appreciate you and your relationship with Chris. My dad passed away 14 years ago, and when I first started listening to the DLS a couple of years before leaving ESPN, I couldn't wait for your Tuesday appearances. You and my dad are one and the same. He was a bartender his whole life, so your fondness for dad jokes, along with random facts
And
to the banter you and Chris have, reminds me of my dad and myself. I just wanted to show appreciation about what you and Chris have and to never take it for granted, and that what you're on the air, it will inspire memories of my dad and the things he would talk about back in his day. I'm not good at words, but just wanted you to know that your relationship with Chris brings me joy when you're on the radio, at least for me, and the memories it brings back. Thanks, Greg and Chris. I wanted to end with a bad joke. Why do seagulls fly over the sea? Because if they flew over the bay, they would be bagels. Thanks again
Wow.
for keeping my workday fun and the memories coming back.
That's a better dad joke than you generally do. That's really good. That's really nice. I appreciate that.
I love fans reacting and interacting with our show. We love hearing that because I do want to be very personal with our listeners. And Christopher, I think your relationship and mine is the dynamic that is at the foundation of the show. So I appreciate that guy's words very much.
I thought at the beginning of that, read the first sentence where he says 14 years. I think it said his dad passed away
My dad passed away 14 years ago.
Well, like we had just talked about 14. Like I thought he was going to say my dad passed away 1440. You're like I thought we were going to 1440 with that 14.
Okay, so you thought he was going to sneak in a joke when referring to his dad's passing? No, he didn't. Also, since I'm thanking people, a quick thanks again to that guy who sent me an undrilled purple bowling ball with Miller Lite and Dolphins logos on it. I joked. Yeah. Go ahead. I joked on the Levitard show that it should have had a Greg Cote show logo, and I was acting like I was making fun of it. But what a nice gesture! Someone bothering to send me. I don't know how much it costs to mail a 16-pound bowling ball across the country, but I really appreciate it.
My favorite part was Dan not realizing that it was a real bowling ball because it didn't have holes in it. Like Dan was like, "Man, it's this mouth like this, defunct. It didn't come properly. It doesn't have the holes." Right. It's like, Dan, I know you don't bowl, but.
No, he doesn't know bowling balls have holes. He doesn't know which fingers to use.
There you go. Let's go to break.
Okay.
And we're back here on the Greg Cote Show with Greg Cote.
Nice voice.
I think we need to. I want to talk about before we get to another call, very self-involved episode so far, another call that we got from a listener. I want to encourage the people to go to thegregcoteshow.com. We have a lot going on there. You can get everything from us there. Our YouTube channel is there where you can watch the episodes. Our podcast links are there. Our merch store is there. We have a lot. Get yourself a nice hat.
Yeah.
Get yourself a nice hat t-shirt or get yourself a nice hat mug. You can get we have a lot of fun stuff throughout the years. We've had a lot of stupid random shirts. We're going to keep cycling new ones in there, but check out our merch. We really are proud of some of the ridiculous, funny shirts and hats that we have there. So go there, thegregcoteshow.com. Dad, we got a call from a guy. He's just like, hey, Greg, I'm going to paraphrase. Hey, Greg, heard you on the Levitard show talking bacon. I'm a bacon expert. Do you want to talk bacon? We can talk thickness. We can talk how it's cooked. We can talk anything. This guy wants to talk bacon.
Oh, I do.
And I don't know if it's a good idea. I think, like, in theory, I like the idea of a conversation about bacon, but I just don't know whether the audience wants to hear it. So should we just, like, put it out on a poll? Do you want us to talk to a bacon guy?
We'll put it on a poll, but I'm going to have to I'm going to have to taint the vote by staunchly supporting having on Bacon Boy. Okay, because
so we're calling him Bacon Boy.
I think I love alliteration.
What about our bacon buddy? Like, I feel like boy is like this guy. I heard the clip. It's clearly a man.
Okay, how about Bacon Buddy? That's good. I'll go with Bacon Buddy. We still get the alliteration, and we're not demeaning him. He could be my age. I don't want to call anybody a boy. Well, so you Bacon Buddy. Yeah. I know, but so hopefully vote yes, because I want this guy on. Now the thing is, I want to vet him first. And that doesn't mean I want to drive him in my Corvette. I want to vet him because anybody can say they're a bacon expert. There's a lot of false bacon experts out there, pretenders. So I want to make sure that he's a legit bacon expert. And if he is, and if you vote yes, we're going to probably have him on next week.
I think I just thought of a good idea. I think we just need to punt on the poll. We need to definitely have this guy on, and we put him up against Uncle Dick. Because I would argue, to your point, that Uncle Dick, who's never worked a day with bacon other than just eating it religiously, knows more about bacon than this bacon guy.
Oh, it could be.
I would like to see, wouldn't it be funny to have a bacon expert and Uncle Dick, and I have 10 questions about bacon, and we see who does.
It'd be great. I can tell you. I can tell you that my brother, I don't want to give away too much, but my brother has made a recipe that was titled Bacon Bomb. Yeah. My brother has eaten 1 pound of bacon at a sitting. And the rumor is my brother puts salt on bacon, the saltiest product.
Yeah, you say that. I don't think I've ever seen him do that. But
okay, well, we're going to ask him. We're going to have both bacon experts on.
We'll still put this on the poll because if people vote no now, then they just don't like this idea. But if you do vote yes on this, we're going to pin this guy up against Uncle Dick.
Yes.
Dick versus bacon.
Right.
Bacon versus Dick. The whole show will be wrapped in Dick and bacon.
Yeah. Okay. I could.
It's going to be a bacon wrapped Dick.
I could say so much more that would be just as dirty and naughty as that, but I won't. Okay. There's a couple of more things I want to talk about in this fast flying episode, but first I have so much going on here. We have 3 Facts Jack, we have Gripes of Wrath, and we have the beginning of our Herb Top 20. So what order you're producing
what the
this?
hell
What
is
order
that?
should
I
we
don't
go in?
remember. I don't remember what that is.
Okay, you suggested it. You remember? I revealed that the Greg Cote 2025 Herb of the Year was Herb Alpert.
Ah, okay. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, and I wanted all your yes, top 20 herbs.
Okay.
We're doing one a week for the next
Right.
20 weeks. Love it.
Okay, now we in order, what do you want to hear? 3 Facts Jack, Gripe of Wrath, Herb Top 20.
I don't want to hear 3 Facts Jack, so we can scrap that. And then
No, we scrapped we scrapped 3 Facts Jack. I mean dad jokes. I meant 3 Facts Jack,
no,
Gripe of Wrath.
no. I know that. I want to scrap also 3 Facts Jack. So we'll
No,
scrap
can't
that.
do it. No.
And then okay.
Nope.
All right, let me hear. I want the herb of the week. I want number 20, our first inaugural. Like, is this kind of underwhelming because we know the number 1 is going to be the guy from last week kind of thing?
Well,
or
I think I think we're calling this the Herb Alpert Cup. In other words, whoever is crowned number 1 wins the Herb Alpert Cup.
okay,
So there's going to be a
he's-
different number 1.
Okay.
Okay.
And we clearly. And so, did you say which way we're going to go? We're clearly going to start with number 20.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
The Greg Cote Show with Greg Cote presents Greg Cote's Top 20 Herbs. Here's Greg Cote with your Herb of the Week.
Number 20, Acmella oleracea. The so-called toothache plant, native to Brazil, is a medicinal herb that, when chewed, can serve as a natural anesthetic to help relieve toothache pain.
Wow.
That's Acmella oleracea.
The medulla oblongata.
Oh, whatever you say. And the excitement is going to build because that's only number 20. A lot of people are going, wow, that would have been in my top 5.
I'm glad that you went something very awkward to listen to and doesn't like roll off the tongue for number 20 to really get the list off to a good start.
Thank you. Yeah,
You really gave us a lot to chew on there, and I'm glad that you established that this was going to be a real conversation starter.
Right. Yeah, I was going to go with a common herb, but chervil or something, but that sounded too much like a little rodent, an animal.
You know what? Definitely not regretting this bit at all. I'm into this. I can't wait for next week.
I'm glad. Gripe of Wrath?
Sure.
Okay.
Annoyances, complaints. Greg's got grievances out the ass, so buckle up, Buttercup. It's time for Greg Cote's Gripes of Wrath.
By the way, you mentioned that nice letter from that listener. Me and
Right.
Dan actually had a conversation at the studio this week where I was just like, we were talking about just like how ridiculous it is that we do all of this and how lucky we are to work together. And I was, we kind of had a moment where we were like, man, like 20 years from now, 10 years from now, when we're not doing this anymore, like listening back to like our podcast together is going to be a funny thing to do.
Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah. Me and Poppy will be long gone.
Yeah. Hopefully you're still here for it, but if not, I'll be listening to it.
Right. Okay. Okay. All right. I was gonna make an old man joke, and you're putting it in my ear in a nursing home, but I don't want to get that dark.
Dad, here's the third episode that we did.
What?
And then I go outside and like smoke a joint in the parking lot while you're just like looking at a wall listening to the podcast that we did. And then I come
Herb
back in
of
like
the week, number 17.
yeah. And then and then I come back in and I'm just like, all right, Dad, you want to go to lunch? And then like I roll you to lunch.
Oh God, this is getting too real, too depressing. Okay, Gripe of Wrath. Slow people. All right, bear with me.
Wow.
Because
Speaking of old, you're gonna go after like right
No,
after
no.
that old thing.
No. This has the potential to get me in trouble, so I got to be quick. Don't get me wrong. If you're in an infirm situation or have any physical limitation, I don't mean you. I am talking about able-bodied people who are just slow by intent,
Yeah.
tortoises by design, intentional sloths. Everyday life does not have a slow lane and a fast lane, unfortunately. So I rely on you to know your lane.
Yeah.
Put some pep in your step,
Mhm.
especially in an aisle situation. in a lane situation. That or move to one side of the lane because Greg Cote is in the passing lane. Slow people, know you're slow, continue to be slow, but just have an awareness and move out of the way of the mainstream.
This is the most annoying on the, like, in parking lots driving.
Yeah.
Like, this is the area where I get the most frustrated. Like, just the person that is like, I am going to go so slow. I had the other day, this person was like making their slow way, and I could just tell it was going to be super slow. So I like cut down a separate aisle and I like went around them, and they were still like not even a third of the way down that, like, their aisle. It was, I saved like 45 seconds by just like, and yes, I'm with you. I mean, obviously we're only talking about people that just kind of saunter.
Right. The saunterers. And I think when you're slow walking, you tend to be slow in other areas. An example I would use is eaters. Yeti,
No. I remember we went to lunch with Yeti a few times. We're sitting there, me and you were done, and he's just like picking at fries. He's got like a full plate of food. I mean, slow eaters. I mean, unless I'm in a hurry, I don't mind a leisurely meal. So I actually don't get that annoyed too often with the slow eater.
Yeah.
And it's honestly interesting that Yeti is a slow eater. He gives off fast eater.
Yeah, he does.
You look at the man and you'd think that guy could put down a rack of ribs in about 3 minutes.
Okay. By the way, when Gary the Bag Rosenfeld and I had lunch a few weeks ago, I learned that he's a slow eater. Like, we went to Sonny's Hoagies. I wolfed down my hoagie. I'm like literally almost done, and he's like half done his.
Well, that's because you don't eat unless you're with other humans. So you probably hadn't eaten in like 2 days.
It could be. Yeah, that could be.
He's probably just yapping the whole time.
He was. Yeah, yapping. He was. And fiddling with his phone and asking me to look at pictures and doing this. All right, 3 Facts Jack.
There are 3 things that interest him, so sit right back for 3 Facts Jack.
Number 3. The original name of the Seattle grunge rock band Pearl Jam was Mookie Blaylock. Number 2.
It wasn't Mookie. Hank Blaylock was like a baseball player.
No, basketball player Mookie Blaylock. Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
yeah.
It's like Mookie Betts and Hank Blaylock.
Yeah, you're thinking of Mookie Betts because when I heard Mookie Blaylock, that my first thought wasn't that a baseball player?
And then Hank Blaylock was a baseball player, so I've just like merged like 2 baseball players.
Yeah. Number 2, the fear of, you know how phobias, like everything you do there's a phobia for it. You know what I mean? So I found
there's somebody out there. You think there's people out there that are just like that are afraid of jerking off?
I think there is. I also think there's a fear of people who are afraid of 3 Facts Jack, and this is close to that because the fear of other people's opinions is called allodoxophobia. Number 1.
There can't be a fear of like portable chargers. Like, there just has to be something out there that there's not a phobia for.
I think there is. I bet there's a fear for anything.
Like, there's no fear of like like potato chip bag clips.
Okay. I'm going to research
that's just the one thing that I'm going to, you know what? Maybe there is chargers because people are afraid of like,
okay.
I don't know, but technology.
Pinch your beard with that potato chip clip so it sticks to your face.
What about nose? What about my nose? I'd rather do my nose.
No, put it on. Do the beard. Okay, nice. See, that's a bonus for our YouTube listeners to see you with a paper chip clip.
The saddest bonus in the history of content. Like,
okay,
yeah, we have a researcher here saying there's no specific phobia diagnosed surrounding a fear of masturbation, but it is a common thing. So there's no technical. The doctors are afraid of this one.
How would Yeti know it's a common thing?
He looked it up.
Spankophobia.
Yeah. I think that was a joke. I think he made that up. Yeah.
I think I did. All right. Number 1, nutmeg is a hallucinogen.
Nutmeg is a hallucinogen. Okay.
Okay, and I can explain. It contains myristicin, a compound that has mind-altering effects if ingested in large doses. Do you have any nutmeg?
That did not clear it up at all. You're like, let me explain. It's made of a word that I can't say.
Myristicin.
Thanks.
A compound that has mind-altering effects if ingested in large doses. Kids, if you're listening at home, don't take that jar of nutmeg in mom's cupboard and down the whole thing. Please don't. That's what I said because I wanted to cover my ass legally, so that I'm not encouraging anybody to OD on nutmeg. Christopher, I have two.
So there is a fear of plastic bags. Plastibolosophobia.
Is that right?
I can't find anything for chip clips.
Okay. All right. Well, my point is, I think that there's a phobia for just about everything.
Oh, so you didn't mean literally everything?
No. Like if you're afraid of drowning, if you're afraid of water, I'm sure there's a phobia for that.
Yes. I mean, yes, there's clearly like heights and water. Right. Yeah. Like,
yeah, if you're afraid of wasabi peas, there's a phobia for that. So that's just an example. Christopher, I want to, before we go, I want to ask you
a fear of peas is called a pulsophobia.
No,
there actually is that's a real phobia.
Wow. Okay, that's cool. I want you to tell me.
That's cool.
Yeah. We used to say cool.
What a transition. But not usually for a fear of peas. Like that's cool.
It's good. It's cool to know new things.
It's cool when I go on a boat on a Saturday with my friends. That's cool.
No, when I learn anything new in life, and yes, you can teach an old dog new tricks. When I learn anything new, I think that's cool, which is why I do 3 Facts Jack. I know some of them maybe people already know, but hopefully you don't. And if you come away knowing that nutmeg is a hallucinogen, I think that's something you can pass along. You'll be on a game show, hallucinogens will come up, nutmeg will be asked, you'll win $5,000 and you'll think back to the Greg Cote Show. Okay.
Dad, you'll be happy to know that in my NHL 25 PS5 video game, in my Panthers franchise, I just traded for Brady Tkachuk.
Oh, that's great. I wish it would in real life.
But it took a lot. I had to give up Sam Bennett, Carter Verhaeghe, and 2 first-round picks.
Oh, I don't know if I'd do that. You gave up a lot.
Well, Sam Bennett is not going to resign. It really was just Verhaeghe because we're going to lose Sam Bennett to free agency.
How do you know we're going to lose him?
I mean, because we've signed everybody to 8-year deals. I mean, I just can't imagine that we're you can't sign everybody to long deals.
We're breaking up the champion Sams, the Uncle Sams,
but
the 2 Sams.
But Brady and Matthew on that second line is nice.
Okay, the Greg Cote Show is reporting that the Panthers have traded for Brady Tkachuk to team up with brother Matthew Tkachuk.
Yep.
Christopher's video game Panthers.
Did Jack White have an album called Essophobia?
Not that I'm aware of.
Essophobia, and that's the fear of dawn?
No.
That's what I'm seeing here.
The album is called The Fear of Dawn with the song Eosophobia, which is the fear of daylight.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Thank you, Voice from the Sky.
Wow. I thought I knew everything about Jack White, but I guess I don't. Even though I've met him in person. Not to drop a name.
Not that he would remember you at all.
Yeah, I think he would.
He would actually the opposite of remember you. He'd think oh, that's the guy that I had to pay. I had to tell to stop running a Twitter account for me. Oh no, that was Brendan Benson.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
For a second, I thought you were running something for Jack White. No, that was Brendan Benson.
And Brendan, a Guitarist for the Raconteurs, did not tell me to stop running his Twitter account. His people did.
Guest number 91, Brendan Benson.
If the show has Greg Cote's name in it, I can almost guarantee you he'll be in the top 100. Okay. By the way, Christopher, I want you to tell me about the bachelor party you threw for your soon-to-be wed younger brother.
I mean, it wasn't really a bachelor. I would say it was more just a celebration. You know, a bachelor party has, some stereotypical stuff. This was a tamed down. Michael doesn't really get down like that. So he's really into stand-up comedy. So we had a gentleman's dinner with the boys at Prime 112. And then we went and saw Louis C.K.
Okay.
Who Michael, that's like Michael's number one comedian. So when I saw he was coming to town, I kind of planned it around that. It did turn out to be a Tuesday night. So like I said, not a typical bachelor party. It was a Tuesday night dinner with the boys and then a comedy show, but it couldn't have gone better. It was like hilarious, and we had great laughs. And
that's good.
In adulthood, Michael and all his friends don't get together a ton. So
right. No, I'm glad. I'm glad it went well. And I have a few questions, but first I have a comment. Bachelor parties, I think, have really advanced over the years, because back in my day, and I'm not bragging, but back in my day, bachelor parties essentially were at strip clubs or just drunk fests.
I mean, Dad, like I just said, Michael doesn't really get down like that. That is still pretty typical.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. All right. No, I'm just impressed by what you guys did. First of all, for those of you who don't live in and around South Florida and don't know, Prime 112 is a very upscale steak place on Miami Beach. A lot of the Heat players and athletes go there after games. What was the experience like for you? I know you'd been there a couple of times, but I'm not sure if the others in the group had been.
No, they hadn't. It was a Tuesday night, so it wasn't like, the peak of, we didn't see any celebrities there.
Right.
They put us near the kitchen. I feel like they got to look at us and they were like, these are nobody.
Yeah,
so,
3 guys in T-shirts, right?
Well, I mean, yeah. But so we didn't get the special corner table. I'll tell you that much. Yeah. But it was delicious. It was, the way to do it when you go to these steakhouses. I don't know if I'm learning people out here. You don't order a steak for yourself. You pick 2 or 3 cuts depending on how many people you got. You tell them to slice it. It's plenty of meat. You don't have to get a full steak per person. It's just, especially with how expensive they are, it's just not worth it. And then we got a bunch of sides. Got some appetizers, some shrimp cocktails, some lobster tails with the steaks.
Wow.
Some of the best cream corn I've ever had in my life.
Oh my gosh.
What other appies did we get?
Wow, you guys did it up, huh?
Yeah, it was really just the shrimp cocktail for appies, and they got these like Wagyu sliders that I was like, I don't want to get filled up too much, so I only had a bite.
Okay.
Yeah.
The big question is, did the total bill have a comma in it?
Yeah.
Okay. I figured, knowing that place.
Yeah.
Now tell me about Louis C.K., because everybody knows he was like
he jerked off during the set. It was wild.
Okay, he was canceled for a while. Apparently, he's on the segue to not being canceled anymore. What?
Well, no, it's kind of like old news. He did a special a couple years ago, kind of like reemerging and talking about all that. This is just. Like, he didn't mention any of that. This was just him working.
Okay.
The show literally was Louis C.K. working on new material. So this was just him. This is him touring, working on stuff. I assume he will shoot a special once he feels like he's perfected the material and stuff.
Okay.
But he's great. It was at the Improv. It was at the Miami Improv, the same place I saw Nikki Glaser. So it was a few hundred people. Like, he could fill an arena if he wanted to, but he's just going around doing smaller stuff, and he's hilarious. Like, he's one of the true, like, him, Chappelle, Seinfeld, like, these are our living legends of comedy. Like, wow. Just talking about comedy. Like, he got canceled, whatever, but if you just want to talk about comedy, yes, Louis C.K. is, I think everybody, even all comedians would acknowledge he's a top 5 of the current people alive.
So you think so too?
Oh, I mean, it's undeniable how, like, he's great at telling jokes. Yes, he's hilarious.
Okay. All right. And does anybody call him Louis C.K.?
No, I don't think so.
It's always Louis.
Yeah. And he's looking, he's like, he like a lot of famous people, he's not like, he's smaller than I remember him being. Like, really? I remember disheveled hair and like overweight. He's not skinny, but he's just, like, he kind of had an Uncle Dick vibe to him.
What?
Like he had short hair, like kind of like almost like a buzz cut type hair.
Wow. He had the vibe of bacon expert Uncle Dick.
Yeah. Man, I'm excited about this bacon off.
I am too.
You think this bacon guy that sent us the video, he's clearly listening to this. Do you think he is nervous for Uncle Dick, or you think
he's going to withdraw?
You think he could take Dick?
He's going to back out when he hears that. He's scrambling right now. He's looking up a recipe for a bacon bomb just so he can, compete in that
scrambled eggs. He's scrambled eggs right now in bacon.
There you go. Before we go, I got to say one final thing. Okay, when I was seeing you guys off to the bachelor party the other night, one in your group was mocking my low mailbox.
Well, Dad, it's a mailbox on a dinner tray table.
Yeah. It's a disembodied head of a plastic mailbox set on a sad wooden TV tray.
That you've had up for years.
Yes. And why has it been years?
Oh, this is a me thing because I should have done that?
No, I'm just, what is your best guess on why it's been years just sitting like that?
Because it's a tough project to plant something in the
It
ground.
is. Yeah. Is it something that I asked my two grown sons to help me with at one point?
If you did, it was a dumb decision of you to do that. That's like a job for someone who actually knows what they're doing with that type of stuff.
Well, the previous one, 10 years earlier, I did it myself. I bought a bag of cement. I planted the post in the ground. I leveled it to make sure. I did it 100%. 10 years later, maybe I could use a little help.
I mean, how many times do I have to tell you that I don't do things like that?
Okay.
Because of, listen, if we're going to do this where you're going to lash out at me, why are Michael and I not handy, Dad?
I'm handy.
Whose job was it to teach us to do things like this?
But
Dad, you're not handy. You're a fake hand. You think you're handy.
No, I'm handy. I'm handier
then you're
than
gonna have to do
Jack
it because
Handy.
you didn't raise two handy sons.
Well,
You've raised
right.
sons that pay people to do things like this because they want it done right. I'm not going to mount my TV because I don't know how to do that. I don't want the TV to fall, so I'm going to pay someone to do it.
Okay.
And if you would like me to, if that's what you're requesting, I will pay someone to plant your post. Maybe fly Yeti down, Dad. Yeti, I'm sure, would be very excited to post your to plant your mailbox.
I will do that. Now, here's the thing, though. I would only fly Yeti down to do that if I thought that it would shame you and Michael. But because I don't think it will, then what's the point?
I mean, I don't feel shame on this. I don't know. That's not like a skill. I'm not handy. If I did it, it would be the worst mailbox on the block.
How about if
it would be crooked and it would just be who did that?
Okay, but I would be the project chairman. I would tell you and Michael exactly what to do.
That is just my nightmare. I can't think of anything I'd rather do less.
It would be hilarious.
Go over to your house on a Saturday morning and have you, who doesn't know what he's doing, act like the big expert.
I know how to do it. I just physically need help at this point. Okay, so we'll arrange that. Datter Day is back.
No,
Datter Day
I'm not doing that.
Back.
I'm not doing that.
Okay, yeah, I think you will. We'll have an update next week on the Greg Cote Show.
We'll have the guy that wrote that nice letter who appreciates our relationship. I bet he would be happy to come down and do that for you.
I'm going to reach out for him. But meantime, Datter Day, wasn't that a Yeti song?
Yes,
shouldn't we play that?
No.
Okay, let's play. We'll play Datter Day next week.
Or we could play it or we could play it as we fade out in this episode.
Okay, we'll do that. Thank you all. And very soon we're going to have a top 100 guests of all time on our 5th anniversary issue. We're going to have Bacon Buddy versus Uncle Dick. A lot of excitement happening. Thank you all, podcast family. Really appreciate you. Good night.
If we don't credit Yeti and Streeter for Datter Day, we get fined $1,000 by Spotify.
Okay, Streeter. Big help. Not sure. Are they like a Hall & Oates where one's like the main partner?
Yeah, I don't know who the lead would be there.
Okay. Streeter is the Oates, or I don't want to say it. I'm just asking.
Yeti and Streeter, Blanc, Streeter and Blanc, Streeter and Blanc.
Lennon and McCartney, Streeter and Blanc. That's not bad.
Yeti and Andrew, Yeti Andrew.
Yeti Streeter sounds like an address.
Yeeter.
Yeeter. All right, we're punch drunk at this point. Let me go eat a bunch of wasabi. Let me ingest a bunch of nutmeg, and we'll see you all next week.